Welcome to the Mohammed Zakaria Training Academy. Today, we're focusing on the essentials of food safety. Whether you run a small grocery store, a large restaurant, a factory, or even care facilities like hospitals and nurseries, this training is designed for all food-related establishments, big or small. Let's get started. Let's talk about food safety, a foundation no restaurant or food business can afford to overlook. Quality and cleanliness go hand in hand. Without good hygiene, even the best ingredients won't save your reputation or keep customers coming back. The basics of a successful establishment start with cleanliness. Our goal is simple: to prevent any illness or food poisoning during preparation, serving, and consumption. Food safety means keeping food free from harmful contaminants, like germs, glass, hair, or chemicals. It's about protecting everyone who eats with us. Back in 1997, the HACCP system became widely adopted. It's all about food safety and product health. HACCP helps us identify, assess, and control risks, whether microbial, chemical, or natural, throughout every step of the food chain, from the farm all the way to the final product reaching the consumer. This system is a cornerstone in making sure what we eat is safe and reliable. Let's look at how the need for a strict system like HACCP first took hold in the United States. It started with NASA and the U.S. military. They asked a specialized company to produce food that could be safely consumed in space. But there were two tough conditions. The food had to be edible in zero gravity, and it had to be completely free from biological, chemical, or physical hazards. This challenge sparked the demand for a rigorous safety system. Now that management is educated on food safety, the next step is hiring skilled workers and chefs. They need thorough training to keep the place clean and uphold all the essential standards. This isn't just about rules, it's about protecting the reputation of the establishment. Without enough awareness, food safety can't be properly enforced. Management has to take this seriously, because any slip-up could lead to health violations and even closure. It's a responsibility we can't afford to overlook. Let's talk about common mistakes that can lead to a business shutting down. First, physical contamination. When food gets mixed with things like hair, nails, glass, pins, or jewelry from employees. Then, chemical contamination. This happens when cleaning products, especially those with strong scents, come into contact with food. Next, cross-contamination, like raw chicken touching ready-to-eat salad. And finally, preparing food too far in advance, which risks safety and quality before it reaches customers. These are critical points we must avoid. Let's talk about common mistakes in food safety. First, pest control. Failing to manage insects and rodents can lead to contamination inside food facilities. Next, heating errors. Not heating pre-cooked food to at least 75 degrees Celsius risks unsafe temperatures. And finally, temperature control, not monitoring food temperatures closely. Hot food should stay above 75 degrees, and cold food must stay below 5 degrees Celsius. These are simple steps, but they're crucial for keeping food safe. Let's talk about training your team, a vital step in keeping food safe and the kitchen running smoothly. We need to prevent nail polish and cosmetics from coming into contact with food. Hair should be tied back, and head coverings worn at all times. Wearing clean uniforms, medical shoes, or shoe covers, plus masks and powder-free, latex-free gloves is essential. Jewelry is off-limits, except for a plain wedding band, and cell phones must be stored away. Regular grooming, like trimming beards and nails, and proper hand-washing, are crucial. Consistent training keeps everyone on track with personal hygiene. Let's talk about the essentials of hand-washing in the kitchen. First, warm water is key, around 45 degrees Celsius, and training staff on the proper washing technique is just as important. Next, we provide unscented liquid soap, ideally with a disinfectant to kill germs effectively. And very importantly, there must be a dedicated hand-washing sink for kitchen staff. Using the vegetable washing sink is strictly prohibited to prevent cross-contamination. Clean hands start with the right setup. Let's talk about when we need to wash our hands, sanitize, and change gloves. It's crucial after using the restroom or handling trash. Also, after working with chemicals or cleaning, and any time we touch surfaces that aren't sterile. Don't forget animals or smoking in designated areas. We should do this when switching between different food types, after preparing food, before starting to prepare food, and before entering the kitchen or prep area. These moments keep everything safe and clean. Let's focus on the basic guidelines for workers in food establishments. This is all about food safety and personal hygiene, two pillars that keep everything running smoothly. When workers follow these rules, they help prevent contamination and keep customers safe. It's not just about rules on paper, but habits that protect everyone involved, from the kitchen to the table. Together, these practices create a foundation for trust and quality in every meal served. Let's talk about when we should wash our hands to keep food safe. First, anytime we switch from handling one type of food to another, this helps avoid cross-contamination. We also need to wash right after finishing food prep. Before we actually start preparing food, it's important to clean our hands. And finally, always wash before entering the kitchen or food prep area. These moments are key to stopping germs in their tracks. Let's talk about when we absolutely need to wash our hands. First, it's a must right after using the restroom, no exceptions. Then, anytime we handle trash or waste, washing up is crucial. The same goes for after using chemical cleaning products. If we touch animals or any unclean surfaces, we need to clean our hands. And finally, after smoking in designated areas, hand washing is just as important. These moments help keep us and those around us safe. When it comes to handling illness and symptoms, caution is key. If someone has vomited within the last 24 hours, they shouldn't handle food unless a medical report confirms they're no longer contagious. If a cook or anyone in the facility catches a contagious viral illness, they must stop working immediately until fully recovered. And remember, always cough or sneeze into your elbow, wash your hands right away, and change gloves before getting back to food prep. These steps keep everyone safer. Let's talk about the role of clear signage and ongoing training in food safety. Regular training sessions with food workers keep important practices fresh in their minds, like washing hands consistently and changing gloves the right way. And don't forget the signs. You need visible reminders for hand washing and sanitizing, no smoking, mask wearing, and hair covering. These signs aren't just rules, they're constant cues that help everyone stay safe and keep your food facility running smoothly. Let's talk about the key specifications for gloves we need to provide. First, the size, they must fit the hand well, so they stay secure and don't slip during work. Next, color blue is preferred because it's easy to spot if a piece falls into food, since blue isn't a natural food color. Finally, the material gloves should be powder-free and ideally latex-free to prevent allergies. These details keep both safety and efficiency in check. Let's talk about first aid and wounds in the workplace. If you get a cut or injury while working, stop immediately and let your manager know so you can get the right medical supplies. The tools you were using need to be cleaned and disinfected properly to avoid contaminating food. Also, there should be a first aid kit available, but it must be stored away from food, like in the staff changing room. Safety and hygiene go hand in hand here. Let's talk about keeping uniforms and linens clean and safely stored. Dirty linens should go straight to the facility's laundry room, away from food prep areas, to stop any chance of contamination. Clean items like chef's clothes, towels, and tablecloths need their own storage spots, separate from food and equipment. And remember, always wear a clean uniform before arriving at work. This simple step helps prevent bringing in any germs that could spoil the food. It's all about keeping things safe and hygienic. This slide focuses on the crucial role of food service staff in maintaining safety and hygiene. We're reminded that handling dishes and utensils the right way prevents cross-contamination. Wearing gloves is recommended when dealing with tableware. Personal cleanliness and a neat appearance aren't just about looks, they're essential for safety. Above all, food service workers must strictly follow all food safety procedures to protect customers and ensure a healthy dining experience. Let's talk about the main food safety risks we need to watch for. First, physical hazards, things like hair, nails, pins, or even glass shards that don't belong in food. Then, chemical hazards, residues from pesticides, cleaning agents, or even cosmetic products like nail polish. Finally, biological hazards. These are the bacteria and viruses that cause food poisoning and infections. Understanding these risks helps us keep food safe from farm to table. Let's talk about controlling biological hazards in food safety. It starts with continuous monitoring, training chefs to measure temperatures accurately, always under the watchful eye of a quality engineer or safety supervisor. When it comes to poultry, the internal temperature must reach at least 75 degrees Celsius to stop bacteria from growing, and it should be served immediately. Key control factors include proper cooling, cooking at the right temperatures, respecting expiration dates, and keeping sick employees away from food preparation. Now, we're diving into advanced standards for food safety and kitchen management. This part focuses on controlling biological hazards, those unseen risks that can cause serious harm if left unchecked. We'll also look at chef training, because the kitchen leader plays a crucial role in keeping everything safe and running smoothly. Together, these practices help us create a safer environment for both staff and guests. Let's talk about controlling biological hazards in the workplace. First, it's crucial to immediately remove any employees showing signs of infections or contagious illnesses. Next, we must strictly follow expiration dates and product shelf lives, no exceptions. Proper refrigeration is key, too, keeping temperatures low to stop harmful bacteria from multiplying. These biological risks can cause food poisoning, often spreading through unsafe practices. Managing them carefully keeps everyone safer and healthier. Let's talk about poultry safety and temperature standards. Ground meat needs to reach at least 155 degrees Fahrenheit, or 68 Celsius, to make sure any harmful microbes are eliminated. When it comes to serving, food should be cooked and presented immediately to customers. This keeps it fresh and safe from contamination. And for poultry specifically, the internal temperature must hit 75 degrees Celsius or higher, so bacteria don't get a chance to grow. These steps are crucial for protecting health and quality. Let's talk about why a food thermometer is absolutely essential in any food establishment. You simply can't do without it. It's the golden rule in food safety. Always use a food thermometer to make sure your food reaches the right temperature before you take it off the heat. This simple step protects your customers and keeps your kitchen running smoothly. It's one of those small tools that makes a huge difference. Today, we're focusing on single-use utensils and tasting spoons, and why they must never be reused. This is crucial to prevent any risk of infection between customers. That means plastic forks, spoons, and disposable plates are for one-time use only. Never put a tasting spoon back into the food. Your customer doesn't want contaminated food. Use a tasting spoon just once, only to check the food before serving. It's a simple step that keeps everyone safe. Let's talk about how we handle leafy greens and cookware in the kitchen. Washing leafy vegetables like lettuce and cabbage means peeling off each leaf and rinsing it thoroughly. That's how we remove dirt and pesticide residues effectively. When it comes to cookware, if you notice any scratches, swap it out immediately. Scratched surfaces can release harmful substances. It's best to use non-stick pots and silicone utensils. They protect the coating and keep everything safe. This care helps maintain both food quality and our health. When it comes to open buffets, temperature control is everything. Hot food that drops below 60 degrees Celsius needs to be discarded immediately. Cold food that rises above 5 degrees Celsius also must be thrown out right away. For cold items, keep them at 5 degrees or lower, and check them at least every 4 hours to stay safe. Hot foods should be held at 60 degrees or above, with regular checks every 1.5 to 2 hours. This keeps everything fresh and safe for everyone. Let's talk about keeping food safe and clean in buffet settings. First, it's best to wrap food from the inside to stop flying insects from reaching it. Then, placing a sneeze guard on the top shelf protects food from droplets and falling objects. Never put new food on top of old. That risks cross-contamination. Always use freshly cleaned and sanitized utensils for every preparation. Together, these steps help keep everything hygienic and safe to enjoy. Let's talk about serving utensils and bread baskets. When using cloth or special paper liners, it's important to replace them immediately after serving each guest. In a self-service buffet, always remind guests to use a clean plate every time they return. Serving spoons can be placed inside the food container, but make sure the handle never touches the food itself. These simple steps help keep everything clean and safe for everyone. Let's talk about calibrating a thermometer, a crucial step to ensure accurate readings. One common method is the boiling water test. When you place the thermometer in boiling water, it should read close to 100 degrees Celsius. Another way is the freezing point test, using a mixture of ice and clean water to check if it reads 0 degrees Celsius. For professional accuracy, calibration is often done by certified companies that specialize in thermometer precision. This keeps measurements reliable and consistent. Let's talk about fire safety and oil inspection in the kitchen. First, make sure your fire extinguishers are rated A, B, and C. That way, you're ready for any type of kitchen fire. Never leave food unattended on the stove. A fire can get out of control in just 30 seconds. When it comes to oil, red means stop. It's harmful and lowers quality. Orange means one-time use only, then toss it. Green means the oil is clean and safe to use. Safety first, always. Cross-contamination is a critical point in food safety. To keep things clean and safe, we assign specific colors to different food types. Brown is for ready-to-eat foods, white for dairy and cheese, green for vegetables, blue for fish, yellow for poultry, and red for meat. This simple color system helps prevent harmful germs from spreading between foods, a small step that makes a big difference in the kitchen. Today, we're diving into a comprehensive guide designed to prevent cross-contamination and maintain the highest standards of quality. It's all about food safety and hygiene, the foundation of trust in any kitchen or food service. By following these principles, we protect not just the food, but the people who enjoy it. Let's explore how careful practices keep everything clean, safe, and up to the mark. Cross-contamination is a critical point in food safety. To prevent harmful bacteria from spreading, we need to handle food carefully and use separate cutting boards for different types. Each color represents a specific food group: brown for ready-to-eat foods, white for dairy, green for vegetables, blue for fish, yellow for poultry, and red for meat. By sticking to these color codes, we reduce the risk of contamination and keep our food safe to eat. Let's talk about keeping our cutting boards and utensils in good shape. One clever way to store utensils safely between uses is to keep them submerged in running water, like an ice cream scoop resting in a bowl of water. This helps with shaping efficiently and prevents contamination. Now, if your cutting boards are deeply scratched and can't be restored, especially plastic ones, it's time to replace them. Deep grooves can harbor bacteria, and we want to keep things clean and safe. Chemical hazards can come from unexpected places, like rodent poisons, insecticides, and even nail polish. Because of this, it's crucial to store these substances separately and securely, away from any food. On top of that, chemicals used in food facilities must be specially designed for that purpose, odorless and clearly labeled as food grade. The main source of chemical contamination often comes from cleaning and sanitizing agents that aren't suitable for kitchen use. Keeping these standards helps us protect food safety. Let's break down the different levels of cleanliness and sterilization. First, cleaning. That's simply removing visible dirt like dust and food residue, usually with warm water, soap, and a brush. Next, sanitizing. This reduces harmful microorganisms to a safe level that won't cause illness. Finally, sterilizing, the complete elimination of all living organisms, including spores and viruses. This is often done in hospitals using steam or gases to ensure absolute safety. Each step builds on the last, keeping environments healthier and safer. Let's talk about non-food contact surfaces and how we handle them. A common mistake is spraying cleaners when food is exposed, either for serving or prep. We need to keep food covered and away from sprays to avoid chemical contamination. Using safe cleaning materials is key. Regular cleaning of walls and doors also matters. It stops dirt and debris from building up, helping prevent cross-contamination throughout the facility. Keeping these surfaces clean is a simple but powerful way to protect our food. Let's talk about managing materials and maintaining equipment, a crucial part of keeping our kitchen safe and efficient. Regular cleaning of fryers and air vents is key, since 63% of stove fires happen during frying. We also need to clean and sanitize tools, ovens, and food storage devices at least every 24 hours. Clear labeling on chemical containers, along with proper training for everyone, ensures safety and proper use. This approach keeps everything running smoothly and reduces risks. Let's talk about mechanical dishwashers and how to get the best results from them. First, always follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Don't overload the dishwasher, it needs space to clean properly. If dishes come out dirty, try washing a smaller load next time. Before loading, scrape off leftover food into the trash. This simple step helps the dishwasher work at its best, giving you perfectly clean dishes every time. Let's talk about some key standards for sterilization and storage. When placing forks and spoons in self-service stations, always position the handles facing up. This simple step helps prevent direct contamination from users' hands. Clean equipment and utensils should be stored separately from food to avoid any risk of cross-contamination. And when it comes to dishwashers, they need to reach a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius, or 85 for some machines, to ensure proper sterilization. These guidelines keep everything safe and hygienic. Let's talk about wooden boards and grills, two essentials in any kitchen. When was the last time you gave your grill a thorough cleaning? It's crucial to remove all grease and residue before leaving the workspace. This keeps your meat safe and fresh for the next day. If your grill has deep scratches, it's time to restore or even replace it. Scratches trap dirt and germs, which can lead to illness. Wooden boards need the same careful attention to stay safe and hygienic. Let's talk about physical hazards in food preparation. These are things like broken glass, tiny fish bones, dirt, wood fragments, or packaging materials that shouldn't be anywhere near our food. It's crucial to keep the workspace completely free of pins or broken glass, and personal accessories must be avoided while handling food. Finding something like hair, a nail, or glass in your meal isn't just unpleasant, it's dangerous and can cause serious health issues. Prevention is key to keeping everyone safe. Let's talk about 3 important food safety practices. First, using product information cards helps us track and manage expiration dates, so expired items get discarded, and those nearing expiry are pulled early. Next, raw sushi ingredients like fish and meats need to be stored completely separate from other raw meats to avoid cross-contamination. Finally, leafy greens, especially lettuce, have caused millions of E. coli illnesses. Keeping them below 5 degrees Celsius and protecting them from contamination is critical. These steps keep food safe and customers healthy. Let's talk about keeping food safe through careful monitoring. First, expiration dates. These are set for 3 days from when the food is prepared. Then, there's the regular logging of fridge and freezer temperatures, which helps us catch any issues early. Frozen foods must always stay inside the freezer, and if anything starts to thaw, that's a red flag. We need to alert the food safety officer immediately. These steps keep everything fresh and safe. When handling poultry, never wash it raw. This prevents harmful splashes that spread bacteria. Frozen foods shouldn't thaw at room temperature either. Keep raw and cooked foods completely separate to avoid cross-contamination. Always cook to at least 75 degrees Celsius to kill dangerous germs. Remember the danger zone, between 5 and 57 degrees Celsius, where bacteria multiply fastest. Salmonella thrives in this range, so controlling temperature is key to keeping food safe. When it comes to thawing food safely, there are 4 trusted methods we rely on. First, keeping it inside the refrigerator. This is the safest and best way. Next, during cooking, perfect for ground meat or frozen vegetables, where thawing happens as part of the process. Third, under cold running water with the temperature kept below 20 degrees Celsius. And finally, the microwave, but only for small pieces, and the food must be cooked immediately after. These methods help keep our meals safe and delicious. When it comes to storing dry foods, there are a few key guidelines we need to follow. Humidity should never go above 55%. Too much moisture can spoil the goods. Temperature needs to stay between 10 and 21 degrees Celsius, keeping things cool but not freezing. Light is another factor. Food must be kept away from direct sunlight. And finally, the FIFO principle, first in, first out, ensures nothing sits too long. Together, these practices help maintain quality and safety in storage. Let's talk about safe storage and pest control when using shovels. Shovels should be stored in boxes, but with the handles kept away from any food contact. Now, how do we know if rodents are around? Look for chew marks, unusual smells like ammonia, or even unexpected power outages. If any of these signs show up, the immediate step is to contact a pest control company right away. This keeps our environment safe and clean. Let's talk about storing items off the ground, at least 15 centimeters high. This simple step keeps rodents away and protects against leaks. If you spot any droppings or gnaw marks, it's crucial to report them right away. Keeping storage elevated isn't just a good idea, it's a key part of maintaining a clean, safe environment. We're focusing on licensed contracting, working only with approved companies for regular visits. Preventing chemical pollution is key, so we avoid using pesticides that aren't specifically designed for the task. Good traps are essential, placing them strategically and monitoring them closely. Rodents pose serious risks. They carry bacteria, damage packaging, and can even cause fires. That's why partnering with professional pest control companies and using effective traps is a smart, necessary step. Flies carry a staggering number of bacteria, about 3.6 million on a single fly. To control them, sticky traps are essential, and they should be placed no higher than 2 meters. Electric zappers aren't enough on their own. Keeping waste away and using air curtains also play a big role in keeping flies out. Together, these steps help manage flies, flying insect traps, and waste effectively. Let's talk about surfaces that don't come into contact with food. These need to be cleaned with water and soap. No need for sanitizing or disinfecting. The key is that these surfaces should be smooth, durable, and non-absorbent. They also have to be easy to clean. When those conditions are met, keeping them safe and hygienic is straightforward and efficient. As we wrap up, this slide highlights the importance of protecting those most vulnerable: young children, older adults, pregnant women, and patients with weakened immune systems. Each group faces unique risks, so our focus is on safeguarding their health. It's about targeted protection, making sure no one is left behind. This video was created with SlideSpeak. Visit SlideSpeak to turn your presentations into engaging AI-narrated videos.